It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast, and the year rolls on in the fight world with Bellator 302 coming up. We got PFL in Paris this week, actually, here in about an hour. But a man who set PFL on fire in his last fight, set Dublin on fire in his last fight. I'm super excited to talk to him. He's the one and only Nathan Kelly. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Cheers. I like the little bit of a big up there as well. Fuels me ego.
Hey, I just call it how I see it, man. You definitely said you got a fight that you deserve and in a place that you deserved, and you made the most of it. And
Yeah,
when this opportunity to talk to you was presented to me, I got super excited because your journey obviously well documented over in Ireland and overseas. Here in the States, people got to research. They got to find out who Nathan Kelly is, and I love that. And your journey hasn't been just the easiest, right? So to
yeah.
get the opportunity to get to the biggest fight of your career so far and make the most of it, I mean, that's what every fighter wants. Can you take me back to that night in Dublin and can you put into words what that night was like for you?
Yeah, it was a very special night, man. I went in with all the pressure on me, and where many crumble or many fall, I was able to keep me shit together, and I pulled it off. You know what I mean? So that alone is really it's a great feeling. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed it though, man. I was really on the day. I woke up. I was just in great form. Had me breakfast. I was just buzzing. You know what I mean? I couldn't wait to get the opportunity, and because I knew I trained so hard. I've been prepared the best way I could. You know what I mean? So I was looking forward to getting in. So I was really excited to fight. So yeah, I was buzzing all day. Super chill, almost too chill. I felt like I could have banged on my chest a little bit and maybe hyped myself up a little bit, but I felt like I didn't need it. I felt like I was just so calm. I felt like I was in the zone, and as soon as I went to walk out, then I heard everyone singing my walkout song and singing back to me. I was singing with them. It was surreal, man. Surreal, really good feeling, really good moment, and something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
As someone who is said on this show that my favorite, here in the States, we got all the other sports, we got the Super Bowl. I have said multiple times the Bellator shows in Dublin are my Super Bowl. The crowd is crazy. The Irish fighters come out to fight. You're never going to get disappointed. Here in the States, the fights are on early. I'm like, those are my favorite events of the year. And
Yeah.
whether it be PFL or Bellator, any fight at the Three Arena in Dublin, it's my Super Bowl because there's no better crowd in any sport in any country than the Irish crowd, the Dublin crowd there in the Three Arena. But when you talk about calm, was it more of you were calm because you were at home, you were able to do stuff from the comfort of your own, kind of schedule and routine, or was it the moment? Because one of those two things can sometimes throw a fighter off. They can go, oh my God, I'm at home in front of everybody. There's a lot more pressure. Or they can say, oh my God, this is the biggest fight of their career so far. And that could bring pressure. Did either of those, or was it just what was it that made you so calm?
To be honest, man, I feel like over the last while I've really adapted a common work like relationship with fighting. You know what I mean? And I think that when you become normal to the fans, to the crowds, to the stadiums, like I have to look at it from the perspective of this is just my job. Like I'm paid to fight, so like the outside of that, the people at the ring, the everyone who's watching, whatever it may be, they're kind of irrelevant for them 15 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm just there to do the job, and although I don't ignore them, they're still there, and I embrace the crowd and the energy. I love it. Even when I'm getting fucking booed, I love it. You know what I mean? I think it's a good buzz. You know what I mean? Yeah, just I feel I've really become one with martial arts and fighting professionally, and I just feel like every fight I'm getting calmer, and I know what's expected of me. I know what I prepared for. So once I can control the fight, everything else will work out. You know what I mean?
How much of this comes from where you train over at SVG there in Ireland? Because obviously the most notorious and famous guy there, everyone knows about. But before he became the billionaire that he is now, and the Proper 12 and the Forged Out and all of that, there was a lot of what you're talking about, where you embrace the crowd, you love everybody, you appreciate all the support. But when the cage door closes behind you, there's something about setting into the moment and only focusing on the fight at hand. How much of that mental strength have you built being at SPG and your coaches and all the people around you?
I'd say a lot, because there's one thing about experiencing it yourself, but we have a big enough team, so I feel like I'm experiencing it every time they fight as well. Them same emotions, probably more emotions from my teammates' fights when I'm watching them, because you can't control your teammates' fights. You get a little bit more antsy, whereas you can control your fight. You're in control of your fight, so I feel like I get like that from my teammates' fights sometimes, and I'm more jittery than my own. But I feel like I think we're all just real professionals. Like, you know what I mean? It's just we're here to train, to fight, and do our jobs. Like, there's not much more to it. Obviously, big crowds, you're kind of bringing that expected pressure of you need to win, but I think you need to win every fight, no matter who's watching. You know what I mean? Everyone needs to win. So don't feeling like you need to win just because someone's watching or there's this many people watching or blah blah blah. You just need to win, and everything else will take care of itself. You know what I mean? And I think we all have that same kind of mindset. Even like coming from a gym, there's that many fighters, people are losing, they're straight back in the gym the next week. If we win, straight back to the gym the next week. We're just building something good, and yeah, it's a lot of it has come from that. I feel like I'm really sure of myself with the team I'm in, and feel like we're like gonna do great things now over the next few years. You know what I mean?
How motivating is that for you? Because obviously you gotta bring everything out from within yourself. But
Yeah,
when you see men or women who fights don't go their way and then they're back in the gym, it's no secret, man. Sometimes fighters don't want to get out of bed. Honestly, you might wake up on a Wednesday and not want to get out of bed. But when you see a fighter take a loss and they're back in the gym 3 days later, how motivating is that for someone like you to go, well, if they're doing it, I absolutely can do it.
yeah. I I like something I never like shy away from. I don't want to see it. I'm like, fuck, fair play to them. You know what I mean? And it does give you that. That's why I think like holding yourself accountable to come back shows great like morals and goals and confidence in yourself for everyone else to see. And if people can bite off that and be like, oh fuck, he's on the ball, like I need to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, and if we all just do our bit, that gradually over time, you have a room full of people who all think the same. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a part to play, but like I think that all the lads in the gym are really like settled in their careers now, and we're all building up now something really good. I think we're all near enough at the same kind of pace and like rate as each other. So it's just building perfectly as we go. You know what I mean?
One reason I was super excited to talk to you about. Not a lot of fighters are as open as you've been in the past, talking about mental health and just moving forward with everything. What was it in you where you were like, yeah, I'm not afraid to talk about the struggles outside the cage or some of the stuff that I went through? Because in a sport like this, especially with social media, the moment someone brings up mental health, you've got some guy who sits in his mom's basement who's eating Cheetos going, oh, I can't believe you're talking about mental health. Aren't you a fighter? You're not a badass. But I think it's more badass to address those things because, you look at some of the greatest fights in the history of this sport, people don't realize for that 15, 25 minutes of entertainment, the next day there's headaches. The next day there's bruises, there's swelling, there's, holy shit, I could have done this. I could have went left when I went right. All of that. So what was it for you that you were like, I'm gonna be open about the things I'm going through and rather than just keeping it to yourself?
Oh man, it was like a fucking. I felt like I was something came upon me, and I was like felt like I had to like change other people's perspectives or whatever. I don't know. I remember one day I was really reflecting on my where like at the time when I kind of became more open about it or made the decision to at least sorry around that time. I remember just sitting in my car and I was just reflecting how far I come from then. Like I think I just won an amateur, a professional title. This is before I got any big breaks. So to come from there to there and see how far I've come, it was like a real kind of like humbling thing for me in a sense. And I was like, fuck. And I thought about me like the way the story went, and I was like, and I just felt like if I was in that position, like being down, and I seen someone else do that with a bit I'd say more like of a following or whatever like that, and I see that they're being vulnerable. I was hoping to have a knock-on effect of it, you know what I mean, so that other people could not be ashamed of what they've done, or you know what I mean, things they said, or fucking whatever it may is, you know what I mean. I thought it could help people grow together in a sense. So I thought I'd just share my story and see what way it goes. But like it's one of them things people can take it one way or the other. The trolls will troll, like they're just always gonna be there. I couldn't give a shit about them. You know, I actually think it's funny when people troll you. You know what I mean? I love giving them stick back. It's like a little bit of entertainment for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, no fucking. I just thought that'd be a good. Maybe there's be a lot of young lads in the area who could hear that and go right. Maybe I should change my way, or if he can do it, I can do it, or whatever it may be. Whatever. I was just trying to leave somewhat of a good imprint on my kind of social circle and where I'm from and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's actually beautiful, and I give you a lot of respect for doing that. I don't look it, but I am part Irish, I promise you. And actually, my birthday is St. Patrick's Day, and so I always have this very close tie to Irish heritage, right, and Irish culture. And this is something I've asked almost every Irish fighter who's ever come on this podcast. But you being so open, I want to ask you, what is it about the Irish people where you can be a story like yours, a story like Connor, you could go through the trenches of life. You could get beat up, you could be scratching and clawing to make the next dollar, to whatever it is, but you never give up. And most of the Irish become fighters. What makes the Irish so resilient, tough, and motivated to succeed?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of it is maybe just embedded in our nature from the way we were all brought up and the way things were back in the day. And obviously the English were coming over here, and you know what I mean. You have that kind of resilient Irish fight back against the English and stuff, and I think that's what's bred over time, over a period of years, and it kind of sets in, and people have the same kind of, like, what would you say, not dreams. They can show a bit more resilience, and they can show a bit more character and stuff like that from it. So I think it's just a real Irish culture thing. And then it's just what you do with that kind of like personality or ambition or drive, whatever it is. It's about how you handle it and what you do with it, and then from there, then people can go one way or the other. Like, but yeah, I know what you're saying though. There is a good sense of that in Ireland, yeah. But long may it last, as I say. You know what I mean? Because there's no harm in having a bit of that for us, as long as we can keep it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's more or less the gist. I'd say.
March 22nd, Bellator 302, you return to the cage. You've been with PFL, you've been with Bellator. Does it really matter which promotion you're fighting for at this point? You're just happy to fight.
Yeah, like, to be honest, I'm a fighter. I want to fight as much as I can and get paid for fighting. It's really is why I'm doing it. Obviously, I want to win fucking the best world titles. I want to win it all. I want to leave the best imprint on MMA as I can. But like, in order for me to do it, I want to make sure that I'm getting paid. I've been active. You know what I mean? I've been really busy. So, and I actually, this is my last fight in my contract with them. So we're gonna obviously have a renegotiation after. But it was just good timing for them to show me on the Bellator one, being in Ireland and stuff like that. And I get to fight early for once. I'm always last, and now I can have a fight early. And yeah, let me finish the last fight there, and before we discuss what's next. You know what I mean? But I'm professional, man. I just want to fight. I want to get paid. I want to get paid for doing my job. I want to do it. Go in, prepare for 8 weeks. Do it on a night's work. Do you know what I mean? And if they put me in one way or the other, I don't really mind. But you know what I mean? This is only one for one fight, you know what I mean? So we can discuss then after what the story is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously, with this being your last fight, you gotta wait, see how negotiations go. But ideally, after this fight, everything goes your way. How many fights would you like this year?
Um, this one maybe two more. Then I've kind of done three every year for the last 2 3 years thereabouts, and I feel it's a good schedule. Three, and then obviously if you could throw one more in, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, especially if the box is good nick. But three is a good base every single year to fight 3 times a year. I think that's solid routine for the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I like that plan for you, and it doesn't seem like you're rushing anything, which is really big props to you. So when you sit down for negotiations, I'm not looking past this fight, but I'm just asking if they were to present you with the opportunity to do the PFL season, whether it be this year, next year, obviously $1 million belt, all that. Is that something that intrigues you more?
Well, yeah, obviously, because everyone wants to get that hand, the chance to play the hand of winning $1 million and being a world champion. You know what I mean? Now, because obviously the Bellator guys are there, I'm not sure if that'll be presented to me this year because of the way things have crossed over. So they'll probably want to get it gelled out. So I could fight twice more in Europe this year, and then maybe see what happens then. I don't know. Like, there's loads of options on the table that could go one way or the other. But for now, all I can do is control my fight on 2 weeks' time. So that's all I'm thinking about for now, man. You know what I mean? If they get me, like.
Well, coming off of a huge win in Dublin, let me just ask you, what should fans expect to see from you on March 22nd?
I think they expect to see is sharp, slick, calm Nathan. I'm really feeling like I'm in full flow lately. I'm really enjoying me sparring. I'm enjoying everything about it, and I really think it's a big part to play and why I'm sitting on such a good run. I'm seeing me improvements every single week. I'm grafting every single week, so like it's good to see my own growth, and I feel like I'm improving every week. And I think this fight, expect the KO inside 2 rounds.
I was gonna ask for a prediction. You already called it. I love that. You talked about your streak, and just a couple more questions here for you. And I appreciate your time. You talked about the streak. It is
Right.
a fight win streak. When you're going through that and you're rising up the ranks, right? Some people do it, but they're not, at the big stage yet. Some people do it on the big stage, and it's title fight after title fight. But you're working your way up. How do you not lose focus and continue to take a like calm and calculated approach? Because some fighters can win 3, 4 fights in a row, get ahead of themselves, bite off more than they can chew, and now they lose everything that they're building. So how are you doing this so calculated and calmly through as your streak continues to grow?
I just think it's this. My best way to explain it is that, like, I just don't think too much into it. You know what I mean? I just don't think too much into it, being honest. I have smart people around me as well. You know what I mean? Like a lot of knowledge around me as well. Um, but yeah, like even with PFL, like they like I signed a developmental contract with them. You know what I mean? So they're trying to develop me as best they can, giving me fights and seeing how I get on and provide me new challenges, new styles, new opponents every time. And I'm just going with the flow, and I think that's a part of it. I'm not thinking really too far ahead. I'm not thinking fucking a year in advance. I'm just thinking each fight at a time and seeing what happens. And I think that's the way my mindset is. I think that's the reason. Like,
Well, it's a beautiful mindset to have, and you have a beautiful kind of repertoire of skills, behind you, and a beautiful career going so far. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Hopefully, it's not the only time we'll ever get a chance to talk, because I really do enjoy a conversation with you. Friday, March
yeah, man.
22nd in Belfast. You kind of talked about what everyone should be, watching out for, but what should those in the arena in Belfast be expecting, and what do you expect from the crowd in Belfast?
I'm expecting hopefully a good crowd. Expecting good energy. Getting behind the lads from where they're from, and yeah, look, I'm just, uh, I'm just hoping they can bring a good buzz. You know what I mean? I love it, getting the feed off the energy when you're walking out, and you can really use it to fuel yourself correctly if you use it right. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm just hoping all my friends and family are going, so I really want to win for them. You know what I mean? Because if I don't, I'll get sick. You know what I mean? Because I have to deal with them for the whole night then. Like, but yeah, all my friends and family are going, but yeah, just really buzzing to put on a good show for them. Yeah, again.
Nathan Kelly, thank you so much for the opportunity and the time. Looking forward to your fight, March 22nd, Bellator 302 live from Belfast. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for having me, man. Appreciate it.